So if you don't have any doubts, we will move further. So next we are going to discuss about what are the difference between your normal thread and the Anika thread. So as we have already discussed it, so in order to efficiently run on a distributed infrastructure, so you should have certain limitations with respect to the Anika threads. Okay. So when it compares to the local thread, so what are these limitations? So how this particular communication has to be performed between the different nodes which are to be connected to the different thread. Okay. So the limitations which are going to have that will be related to the what that will be related to communication and the synchronization strategies what you are going to make use in your multi-threaded applications. Okay, so these limitations which you are going to have that are normally used in your multi-threaded applications are, so one is your interfacing compatibility should be there. So next we are going to have the thread life cycle. Third is thread synchronization should be there, and will be having the thread priorities. So that priority is going to tell that which thread has to run first and which thread has to run fast, and which thread has to have the highest priority that you are going to have. So the last one is your thread synchronization, what your thread has to provide. So when it comes to the thread compatibility, so if you take the Anika thread versus common threads, so if you take the compatibility of the Anika threads, so if you take the .NET Trading API, so if you take the .NET Trading API, so that you refer to the textbook, so which have been shared and or refer to the nodes which have been specified there. So there we are going to have the system.trading is the API which you are going to use to create the thread. Okay. So whereas in your Anika Trading API, you are going to have Anika.trading as the APIs which you are going to have. So now if you get this particular, you can see it here. So the refer namespace which you are going to have in almost the same interfaces. So you can see it is system.trading.thread class which you are going to make use of in your normal in your .NET trading API system.trading.thread. So but when you are using the API with respect to the Aneka, so the Aneka is going to make use of Aneka.trading.thread. Okay, so Aneka.trading.thread is the thread which you are going to use here. So you can see it here. So this is what they are going to use. So whereas in your normal .NET thread, it is going to make use of system.thread.thread class, which you are going to have. So with the exception of few operations that are not supported, comparison of the two classes are discussed. Okay. So because whatever the Aneka has been built, so the Aneka is built on the similar features of your .NET code. So .NET is almost similar to the Java. So if you have gone through the Java, then you don't have to worry about the code which you are going to see in your textbook with respect to the Java code. So all of you have gone through the Java basics properly. That's my suggestion. So this particular one module requires your Java program to be there. So have you gone through that one? How to create the class, how to call the main and all? Have you gone through it? Just I'm asking you people, because I think you have been read that particular part in your fourth sem. So there is no other go. You have to glance at once to know about the Java basics. Okay. So in the Java basics, how to run that particular program and how to create the class, you should know. Okay. How to create the class. So if you don't have, so how many of you are using the Eclipse IDE for Java in your home? Anybody is using? Okay. So apart from this one, so the referring namespace that defines all the type of referring to the support for threading is Anika.trading rather than system.trading. So you can use it here. The namespace which they are going to use. Okay. So the namespace which they are going to use is referred as what? Anika.trading. So type the namespace, which is the namespace. Okay. So if you take the namespace, so it is going to be referred as Anika.trading. So Anika.trading. Okay. This is the namespace you're going to have, rather than system.trading. System.trading is going to be basically used in your .NET code or in the Java code. Okay. So, but in your this one, in your Aneka, when you are building when you are going to schedule the job to the different nodes, so we have to create a thread. So that particular thread will be created making use of the Aneka.trading is what it is going to have. So now, whenever you are going to have the functions, okay. So whenever you are going to have the threads to run, so the basic control operations for local thread are such as start and abort have the direct mapping. Because so if you take any thread which is running in any of the languages or any of the platform. So always a thread should have the start. So once you created this thread, that particular thread has to start its execution. Okay. So now once it is started, so the last if you have some high priority job comes or in the low priority job comes, so you have to abort that particular thread. So these are the basic control operations for local threads, such as start and start abort. As a direct mapping, direct mapping is nothing but what? So these particular operations, so that involves a temporary interruption of the thread execution have not been supported here. So that means what? So now when you are going to have the high priority job, so what will happen? So if you take the different stages of the thread, so for example, if I take the thread, so if any interrupt comes, so if any interrupt comes, so what I need to do, I have to suspend the process. Okay, I have to suspend the process. After suspending it, it has to go to what? Sleep state. So after suspending it, it has to go to the sleep state. So once it is sleep, it is going to give. So next is it has to revoke. Okay, so it has to be revoked again. Okay, it has to resume. So after sleeping, it has to go for resume state. Okay, so it is going to have the suspend state. So when say suspend is nothing but what? Your thread goes to the sleep state. So once it is sleep state, it is going to give. So next, if you want to run again, so if you want to run again, I have to go to the resume state. So there, some of the functions you are going to make use of. Okay, so some of the functions in your normal thread. So if you take the normal thread, if you are going to have, so the normal thread which you are going to have is either you can have the uh, you're going to have the start function should be there, right? So you're going to have the, so whenever the thread is interrupted, so it is going to have normal thread if it is interrupted, but it has to go to the wait state. So in the wait state, what the thread should be doing, your thread should be sleeping. So in the wait state, the thread should be sleeping in the wait state. Next, after it is going to be sleeping in that particular state. So next, once the suspend is revoked, once the suspend is revoked, what I need to do? So once the suspend is revoked, I have to rejoin, right? I have to rejoin the thread or join the thread. So these are some of the operations which you need to perform in this normal thread, but it will not happen in this one. Why? Because here it is not running in a different, if you take in Aneka, so that will be not running in a single node. So won't run in single node. Okay, that particular thread won't run in single node. Okay, so when it is not able to run in a single node, so what are the limitations which you are going to have is the next question. Okay, so what are the different limitations you are going to have is the next questions. So that's why you are going to tell that. So some temporary interruption of the thread execution have not been supported in your Aneka threads. Okay, the basic control operations for local threads such as start and abort have the direct mapping, because every thread in any of the languages or any of the thread creation, any of the services which is provided by some of the cloud service provider. So the thread will be having the start and abort. Okay, so whenever creating a thread has to start and it has to be aborted. So that means it has to terminate. Okay, so terminate it. So these two having the direct function. So every thread which will be created, either it may be in a single node or it may be multiple node. So that will be having the direct mapping, that is start and abort. While operations that introduces temporary interruption of the thread execution will not be supported in your Aneka. So this particular temporary execution, temporary interruption of the thread will not be supported. Where? In Aneka. So I can see it here. Temporary interruption of the thread have not been supported here. In where? In Aneka. So the temporary interruption of the, so you can see it here. So the temporary interrupt of the thread execution has not been supported in your Aneka thread. Okay, so that's what it is going to have. So that's what it is going to tell you what. So it is not been supported by your Aneka thread. So now next comes, so Aneka thread versus common thread. So if you are the use of the suspend and resume operations, so it is generally a deprecated practice even for local threads. So so that means if you take the local thread, so apart from the uh, apart from your Aneka thread, so what you are going to have, so it's going to have some of these suspend operations. So a deprecated practice even for local threads is suspend interruption the execution state of the thread abruptly. Okay. Secondly, so suspend of the option is generally a deprecated practice. That means that you are not going to make use of that particular practice in your in your local Aneka thread. Okay. So that's what it's going to tell all about. So it is not going to be supported. Okay. So suspend and tribute operation is generally a not approved. Okay. So even for local threads, since suspend interruption the execution state of the thread will abruptly. Okay. Secondly, when you are running in a distributed environment, that is, if you take the case of your Aneka thread, so thread suspension in a distributed environment, what it is going to lead? So it's going to lead to an ineffective use of the infrastructure. So if I'm going to have leverage that particular infrastructure, I will be paid for that particular infrastructure, right? So when you are going to have leverage that when you are running your thread in the distributed application, distributed infrastructure, for the infrastructure which you want to run, for that particular infrastructure, you would have purchased that one for certain amount of time. Now, if I am suspending the thread means what? I am not going to execute that particular thread in that particular machine or that particular node. So now, once you are not using that particular node in that particular system. So now the usage of that particular infrastructure won't be there. When you are not going to have that particular use of infrastructure, so then we are paying simply. So that is why that is why your sleep operation is not permitted in your Aneka threads. Okay. So that's why the reason one thing you have to keep in mind is the sleep operation is not supported by your Aneka thread. So since the sleep operation is not supported or interruption is not supported, there is no need to support the interrupt operation. So if you take your normal Aneka thread, so if you're normal Aneka thread, so it is not going to support your, it's not able to support your interrupt operation. So if you're going with the interrupt operations, what it is going to do? So whenever the interrupt comes, what we are going to have, we have to do the context fix, right? So depending upon the type of the interrupt. So if it's a high priority interrupt which are going to coming, so then whatever the work you are doing, I have to stop that particular work at the stage where I have been completed, at what stage I have been completed. After that one, I have to give my resources which I am working to the process which is coming in the queue, and that particular process will complete its work and it will release all its resources which I need to do once the task is completed by the other process. So that is what it is mean by context switch that we have seen, right? So since there is no need to support the interrupt operation here, so which possibly interrupt operations which are going to have, so which what it makes whenever you are doing the interrupt operations. So what it is going to do, it is going to resume the threads from a waiting or a sleeping state. Okay. So to have this one to support in synchronization among threads, so now what I have to do, so I have to make implementation of the join function. To support synchronization among threads, a corresponding implementation of the join operation has to be provided. So that's what it is going to have. So these are some of the operations exposed by the Aneka threading.thread versus threading.threading class. So if you are going with the .NET Threading API, so .NET Threading API, if I go with that one, so you can see it here, and this is the difference between what we are going to have. So that threading application programming interface to the Aneka threading application programming interface. So in your normal .NET our trading API, it is going to have system.threading, whereas in your the API which you are going to use, that the header file, this Aneka.threading. Inside that one, you are going to have the object to create the thread. So here, if you want to create the thread, so it's the same thing. If you want to create the thread in Aneka, you are going to have the Aneka thread. So every Aneka should have every thread which you are going to have, it will having the thread manager. So you are going to have the thread.manage thread ID. Okay, so the thread manager is going to manage the threads. So if he has to manage the thread, what he has to keep track of? The manager has to keep track of each thread ID. So different threads will be running. Different threads will be having its own different ID. Okay, then only I can monitor that particular thread and I can give the result. So every thread will be having the name, thread.name will give you the name of the thread. And if your thread.thread state, so at in which state that particular thread is there. So it is going to give back you at what state that particular thread is running. That is in your Aneka thread state. Okay. So next is whether I have to check that whether that particular thread is working fine or not. So for that particular checking the status of the thread, I have to make use of the API thread dot is alive. Okay, thread dot is alive. So thread dot is alive is going to give that whether that particular thread is in the running condition, whether that particular condition is in the queue or not. So whether it is already terminated from the process, that I have to see it. So the same way, if you take your Aneka threading API, this is going to have Aneka thread dot is alive. So now you can see it here. So wherever the thread is there in your .NET thread API, so that particular .NET thread API, wherever the thread is there, that has been replaced with what? Aneka thread. That you can see it here. So that may be replaced by the Aneka thread. Okay, so here you're going to have is background false, thread pull thread. So you're going to have thread dot start. Here you're going to have the Aneka thread dot abort. So similarly, if you are going with the Aneka threading API, it is going to provide you that Aneka thread dot abort. Okay, so that's what it is going to have. So since we have seen that the Aneka. So since it is not running in a single machine or single process, so whatever the threads you are going to create, so we have to send that particular process out of the node also. So out of the node also we have to send that particular thread. So for that particular reason, the interrupt won't be supported in your Aneka thread. So that's why whatever the APIs supported with the interrupt, that won't be supported by your Aneka thread. So all of you understood, right? So whatever the thread support which is given by your normal thread APIs, that maybe it may be in .NET. Here they are going to take the references .NET. So either you can take the references Java also and you see to it. So that I will give another assignment to you. Okay. So you take an assignment that and you submit by 2 or 3 days. So what are the different threading mechanisms is going to be provided by your Java, and you start comparing that particular threading mechanism with the .NET, and as well as the Aneka thread. Okay, and see that what are the different operations supported by your Java thread, and what are the different operations you are going to be supported by your Aneka thread. So here they are going to take the references .NET, but you take the references Java, and you compare your Java thread with .NET threading and Aneka threading. Okay, so that will be given as an assignment. So today I am going to post that particular assignment to you. So you have to write down that detailed description of how it will be differentiated, how the Java threading API is different from .NET threading API and Aneka threading API. So as we have seen already that if you take the thread dot as the interrupt is not supported, so whenever the interrupt comes only, you are going to shift the thread which is running into the sleep mode, right? So the sleep won't be supported by your Aneka. For that particular reason, the thread dot sleep, if you are not going to send the thread to the sleep. So since the interrupt itself is not provided, since interrupt operation itself is not provided by the Aneka thread, there is no question of having the thread dot sleep, thread dot interrupt, thread dot suspend, this thread dot resume. So all these 3 APIs which are there, that will be related to the interrupts only, because whenever the thread is running, when the interrupt comes, okay, whenever the interrupt comes, what I need to do, whatever the process, whatever the thread which is running in that particular node, I have to suspend that particular thread. After suspending that particular thread, as I show you that, next I have to send that particular thread to sleep state. Okay, then I have to send that particular thread to the sleep state. Once that particular process which is once that particular thread which has been replaced, okay, once that particular thread which has been replaced has completed its work, then what I need to do, then whatever the thread I have kept in the sleep state, that has to be revoked. Okay, whatever the thread I have kept in the sleep state, that has to be revoked and it has to be resumed. Okay, that has to be resumed. So since these are some of the operations which is required when your normal thread is running within the same address space. So that is telling that it is the same address space. That is, same address space means what? Within the same system. Okay, within the same system, if it is running, if that particular thread is running. So you have to keep track of all these four different APIs. That is your sleep, thread dot sleep you should have, thread dot interrupt you should have, thread dot suspend you are going to have, thread dot resume you are going to have. So now all these four APIs is not supported by your Aneka thread. You can see it here. So these four is not supported by your Aneka. Why these are not supported by your Aneka? Since the interrupt operation is not supported by your Aneka thread. So the interrupt operations will not be supported by Aneka thread. Why the interrupt operation is not supported by the Aneka thread? Can anyone answer now? Since I have told now, why the interrupt operation? What is the purpose of removing the interrupt operation in your Aneka thread? What is the reason for that one? Can anyone put it in the chat box? Can I have the answer from your side? Why your Aneka threads cannot go for interrupt operations? So why it is not going to have the interrupt operations in your Aneka thread? Can anyone answer? Why it is not supporting the? Why it is not supporting? Can anyone answer that one? At least one should answer, right? If you are listening, I think one should answer that particular part. So why we should? What's the reason we are not? Because if I'm running in a different what will happen if I'm running that particular interrupt operation? What is the thing which is going to happen there? Can anyone answer? Why interrupt operation is not supported in Aneka? Can anyone answer that one? So, which will tell you that your people are not listening in the class. Why interrupt operation is not supported in Aneka? What is the purpose of not supporting it? If I support it, what is the cause of that one? Why that particular operation is not supported in Aneka? Can anyone tell the answer? Since I have told already that, so if you are going with a thread to run in a different node, different distributed application, what are the problems you are going to face? Since the cloud, if I want to run the thread, I have to purchase the infrastructure. So if I want to purchase the infrastructure, I need money. So if I put that particular thread to sleep for that particular duration of work, no work will be running in that particular node. So if the no work is running also, then I have to pay for the infrastructure which have been purchased or rented for that particular purpose at that particular instance of time. So that is the reason why your thread is not the interrupt operations are not supported by your Aneka. Okay, so that's what it's going to have. So when it comes to the interfacing, besides some of the thread control operations, so there are some of the most common terminologies operations are common. Most common in most our control operations are common compared to your .NET Thread API and Aneka Thread API, which are common. So everything, so every thread will be having its name, and all threads which you are going to create, so it will should have some unique identifier. Okay, so the thread which you are going to create, you should have some unique identifier and state. So and the state at which it is running. So if you take the name of the threads, so that particular name, so it has to be uniquely free, it is freely assigned. So the identifier is generated by the Aneka in your Aneka thread and is represented a globally unique identifier. Okay, so whatever the thread you are going to create, that will be as a string in your Aneka. That will be treated as a string here. But it is not this case with respect to the name which you are going to create in your normal thread. So the Aneka thread which you are going to have, the name which is going to be created, that should be having some name. So now when you are going to have the Aneka thread which has been created, so there should be some properties which are there for that particular thread. So such as that is background. So whether that particular process is running in a background or it is that particular thread is running in a foreground or not. So then what is the priority of that particular thread? Okay. So then is thread pool thread. So it is going to have the pool of threads which are going to have. That means that pool thread is the name but what? So you are going to create a thread, a process n number of threads, which is that one. And whatever the pool of thread you are going to have, that will be distributed among the different nodes. So other properties concerning the state of the thread, such as is alive and is running, exhibit the exhibit expected behavior, which is slightly different behavior and has been implemented for the thread state property. Okay, so these are some of the thread APIs which will be used. Okay, these are some of the thread state APIs which are going to be used under interface compatibility. What are the different interface compatibility which you are going to have in your thread? Okay, so if you take in Aneka, so in the context of distributed applications, multiple distributions of application, multiple distribution is done. Okay, if you take the Aneka thread, what will happen? You are going to create a number of threads, and each thread will be running in different nodes. What we are going to get, since if the application becomes complex, what has to be done? I have to distribute those applications to the different nodes. If I am sending those applications to the different nodes, so different infrastructure will coming into the picture. So now, as you talk, and if you take about your normal thread, in the normal thread, what will happen? The applications what you are going to run. So if it is running inside a single machine only, then that particular single machine is going to share the same address space. Then we don't have any issue. But it is not the case with Aneka. So because it is not going to share the same address space. So if you take about the normal thread, it is going to share the same address space. If you want to share the data also, it's going to have the shared memory. And in the shared memory, it is going to share that particular data, right? So that's what it is going to have. So finally, it is important to notice that what is the difference in thread creation. So local threads are implicitly belong to the hosting process. Okay, so if you take the normal threads, so the normal threads when you are going to where you are going to create it, the normal threads are normally created locally. Okay, now the normal threads which are the local threads which we are going to tell, that particular local thread is going to belong to the local system or hosting process. What is that hosting process? That process which is going to start first. So and then what are the boundaries I have to give for that particular process? And the range of action is limited to the process boundaries. Okay. So now here, whenever you want to create a local thread, so it's also necessary to provide a pointer to a method. Okay. So to execute in the form of thread start or parameterized thread start delegates. So if you take the normal thread, so in the normal thread, you can send the parameter as how many threads you have to create that one. And depending upon the number of threads, what are the different parameters you have to send for that particular thread? You should know that one. So now when you talk about the Aneka threads, so Aneka threads normally live in the context of distributed application, and it will be running in the the distributed applications can be managed with multiple distributed applications can be managed within a single process. For this particular reason, what will happen? The thread creation also requires the significance interference. Okay, so that is what the difference which you are going to have between your Aneka threads and the local threads. So if you take the interface compatibility between Aneka threading APIs and the base class library, so it allows quick porting. Okay, so application by Aneka by simply replacing the class names with the modifying the thread constants. Okay, so as the this one indicates that you can see it here. So if we take the normal threading construct, so to the Aneka threading construct, you can see it here. Almost it is same, but only thing is what? So wherever the thread is coming, so the thread is replaced with Aneka. Okay, so you read .NET threading APIs. After reading the .NET threading API, so wherever the thread is there, okay, just you replace that particular thread with Aneka thread. Okay, so that is what how the interfacing compatibility is going to work about. So next, when it comes to the thread lifecycle, so you can see that there are a number of threads which are going to have. What are the threads we are going to have? If you take the normal thread with respect to the, if you take the normal thread, okay, you take the normal thread which you are going to have, so you can see it here from this particular figure. So this particular figure which is at the left side, it is the normal thread. Okay. So next, when it is going for this particular right side thread which you are going to have, that particular right side thread is of Aneka thread. Okay. So that's what it is going to tell about. So you can see from the figure. Okay, you can see from the figure. One minute. So from the figure, you can see it here. So if you take the thread cycle comparison, so if you take the thread cycle comparison with a normal thread, so before you create the thread, it will be not started, right? So next, you have to create the thread, which will be in the unstarted state. First, you have to create the thread, which will be in the unstarted state. Once it is in the unstarted state, so now we are going to start that particular thread. So when you start that particular thread, it will go to the running state. When you start that particular thread, it will go to the running state. So now, once it is running, if it is a normal thread cycle, so you have the interrupt option there. But when it comes to the Aneka thread, we don't have the interrupt option that we have told. So now, when you are going to have the thread state, so next, when you are going to have the start process here, starting the thread, so the start thread will be running. So what are the different operations I can perform after the thread starts running? I can suspend it. Okay, I can suspend that particular process or suspend that particular thread. So if any interrupt is coming, okay, if any interrupt or high priority thread is coming through that particular queue, so what I need to do at the time? So when the high priority thread comes, whatever the running thread is there currently in the queue, which is running, so that I have to suspend it. So next, once it is suspended, it has to go to the, I have to request for suspend, and after a certain amount of time, it will be suspended. So suspend restricted, you are going to have, by using the system called suspend, you are going to assign. After doing the suspend, it is going to the suspended requested state. So the state is going to change from running to the suspend requested state. Once the suspend requested state comes, after that particular state, you are going to suspend that particular thread. You are going to suspend that particular thread. So once it is suspended, now after certain amount of time, what will happen after certain amount of time? So the whatever the high priority thread is there, that is going to complete its execution. Once the high priority state is going to complete its execution, the thread which has been in the suspended state has to come to the running state, has to transform to the suspended state to the running state. When you are moving from the suspended state to the running state, you can see it here. It is moving from the suspended state to the running state. I'm going to make use of the API resume. Okay, you can make use of the API resume here to go from the suspended state to the running state. So now, for example, there are other option also like wait, sleep, join. So I am permanently waiting for some other resources to get that one. When you are going for a wait state, so wait state you are going to get when you're not, when that particular, when it is, if that particular thread is running in a shared memory, and if that particular thread requires some resources which has been acquired from some other thread, then I have to wait till that particular resource is released. So then it will go for the waiting state. So after some period of waiting state, even that particular resources is not released from by the other thread, then I should go for the sleep state. Okay, then I will go for the sleep state. So then once it is completed, whenever you want to complete, whenever you want to join two different threads, you can make use of the system called join. Okay, so then if it is joining, again it will revert back to the running state. So it will, either it may go for the wait state or sleep state, join state. Once in any of the state it is going, So once it is going changing the state from running to wait, sleep, or join, again from after this particular state, again it will go for the running state once the resources are available. Okay. So now if the thread is running and if it's completing it normal, okay. So now that particular thread is completed normally, then normal completion, it is going to stop here. Okay. So now in between, when you are going to have the abort is going to tell when the thread is not completely run. Okay. So when your thread is not ran completely, or whatever the task that particular thread has to do, if that particular task is not completely done. So now I want to stop that particular thread in between. If I want to stop that particular thread in between, I can issue the command abort, right? So if I want to stop that particular thread in the process of execution, then I have to issue the command abort. So when you are issuing the abort command or abort request, then your requested is aborted. So then abort is requested, the thread is going from running state to the abort requested state. Once it is going from the running state to the abort requested state, from abort requested state, it will go to the stopped state. From the abort requested state, it will go to the stopped state. Okay, that's what it is going to perform in your normal thread. Okay, so normal thread, I shall, if the resources are available, I have to wait. After waiting that particular process, or whether some activity is done. So after waiting for small certain duration of time, so it will go to the sleep state. Once it is sleep state, again it has to join to the other thread which will be running. Okay, so say if any other thread requires the data from the thread which is there in the queue, so then it will rejoin with the running state. So if it is having the normal completion, it will change the state from running state to the stop state. So now if any abort is requested in between, because if you don't want to complete that particular thread to execute fully, then we have to request for abort. So if it is requested, then it will it will change the state from running to the abort requested, and from abort requested to the stopped state, it will change. That is with respect to the normal thread which you are going to have. So here the example what you have taken is .NET. But the same thing, what will happen in your Aneka thread? At the right side, you are going to have the thread life cycle with respect to the Aneka. So when you start talking about the thread life cycle with respect to Aneka, so when you started, so I can abort it. Okay, I can abort it. So if you are going to abort, there are three states where after starting the thread, it will go into the three state. Okay, so what are the three states it is going to have? So stagging state is going to have. So next, it is going to have the queued state. So queued state it is going to have. Next, it is going to have the abort state. Okay, it's going to have. So now, what do you mean by stagging? Once it is started, so I have to go for the stagging state. So now, it is the place where you need to present for threading applications, because why I have to go to the starting state. So if I'm going to start the thread, so why it has to be why I have to staging is nothing but what, so I'm specifying the property of that particular thread. Okay, staging in is nothing but what, so I'm going to provide the property for that particular thread. So whatever the presence performance I need to have to perform that particular thread, because when you are going to have the thread, so I should give that particular thread to run in the outside your system also. Outside your system also, you have to give that for run. So now I am presenting that particular thread to execute. Once it is started executing, it has to be queued up, because there will be n number of state which you are going to have. So then from the queued state, it is going to running state. Okay, so there are n number of state which you are going to have. Okay, n number of threads you are going to create, that will be in queue. So how we are going to present it, which state has to run first, that has to be told. So next, once it is running, then after running out, So whatever the queue it has tagged in to the thread, it has to stagger out from the queue. It has to stagger out from the queue and it has to go for the completed stage. So it has to go for the completed stage. So even if without stagging also, I can go for the running state. So that depends upon the thread, how the property of the thread has been implemented. So depending upon the property, when you are going to have the staging in stage, so if we have defined some properties, okay, so where I have to provide facility for that particular thread, that I have to give it. So when you are going to have that particular feature, you are going to make that particular thread to be in staging in. So either once it is started, it will be queued up in the process, queued up in the scheduler to schedule that particular thread. Once it is scheduled, it will be in the running stage. So always the queue will be done in scheduler. So it will be going for the scheduling state, running state. Once it is running, depending upon the property of the thread, either it can be staged out and or it may be completed. So staging out is nothing but how we are going to present it, whether that particular thread has to be joined with other thread, or whether it is running, whether that particular thread is running independently, that you should know. So from the running state, either it can go to the staging out stage, or it can go for completed state, or it can go for the aborted state. Okay, either it can go from the running state, three state it can move. One is the staging out state, other is completed state, or it can go to the aborted state. Okay, so once it is aborted, it will be taken out from the queue or the scheduler. So now once in the staging out stage, so if I'm going to fail that which thread has to be allocated to which node, then it is going to fail. If it is failing, it is going to the fail state. Okay, so even if it is running also, can go to the fail state. Once it is started also, it can go to the fail state. So the fail state is going for the fail state, depending upon what? Depending upon the many factors. During the starting of the thread also, it can go to the fail state. While running also, it can go to the fail state. While staging also, it can go to the fail state. So these are the three states from where the fail state will be arrived. Okay. So next, once it is started, I can reject that particular process. Okay. So you can see from the figure of the Aneka thread, you can see it here. So these are some of the states in which the Aneka thread is going to change its state. Okay. So the normal, but it is not going to support your interrupt stage, right? So from the figure, you can see that it's not supporting the interrupt stage, since all the threads will be running in the different system. It is going to have the distributed in this particular thread, which should require the distributed infrastructure. Okay, so that's what the reason. So anybody having any doubt with respect to the thread, from the figure you can figure it out. So if you know the normal process life cycle or thread life cycle, you can understand it well. Only thing is the interrupt operations won't be there in your Aneka thread. Okay. So next, as the same thing has just been explained here. Okay, just go through it once. Next is synchronization. That's I told you already that what do you mean by synchronization. So the .NET based capitals provide advanced facilities to support thread synchronization. So here also for the synchronization mechanism, you are going to make use of monitors, semaphores, read-write locks, and basic synchronization constructs at language level. So Matt, when you take about the Aneka, so Aneka is going to provide you the minimum support. Okay, Aneka is going to provide the minimum support for thread synchronization. That will be limited to the implementation of the join operation for thread abstraction. Okay, so that you read it by yourself. Synchronization already you have run. So you see to it how the Aneka is supported for that particular synchronization. That's it. So how do you port that particular synchronization? And there's a different priority level which you're going to have by the thread, which is supported by your Aneka. So the different threads which are going to have priority, which you're going to have is highest, above normal, normal, below normal, or lowest. So this will be defined inside the enumeration class. So you're going to have the class called as enumeration class. So thread priority enumeration will be there. So that in the selected thread priority enumeration, the priorities will be defined. So that the priorities which are being defined is highest, above normal, normal, below normal, or lowest. Okay, so your operating system are not required to honor the priority of the threads, and the current version of Aneka does not support thread priorities. So This is the previous thread priorities which are going to have, but the current version of the Anika is not supporting the thread priority. What it is going to tell. So some interface comparative suppose exhibits a priority property whose type is priority type is thread priority. Okay, so it will be set to normal. Normally, it won't be set for highest. So it will be set for almost all Anika threads will be set for normal. Okay, so that is about your thread priority. So next is type serialization. You just go through the type serialization, then you will understand what you mean by serialization. So why we require the serialization is that so all the local threads executes all within the same address space, right? So if you take the local threads, so it will be all executing in the same address space and shared memory. So now when it is running in the same memory, same machine, so when it is running in the same address space, it does not require any object to be copied outside the outside of the system. In fact, if it is running outside the system means what? So that totally entirely different address space will be different for the different system outside your single machine. Now, once it is running in a single machine, the normal thread can share the address space as well as the shared memory. But when you talk about the Aneka, so when you talk about the Anika, what you are going to have, the objects with the thread objects which have been created, that has to be transferred into the different address space. That is what you are going to have. So when you are going to have that particular type of threads which have been created, so you should have the class called as serializable. Okay. So when you want to execute on remote computing nodes, okay, when you want to compute on the remote computing nodes, so your Anika thread has to be distributed and executed on remote computing nodes. So now here what it does, the object code related to that particular to be executed within the threads needs to be transferred over the network. That means whatever the object code you have been created for that particular method or function, so that has to be transferred over the network. So when you are transferring over the network, obviously the address space which you are going to use for the single machine has to be changed. So that particular instance, it has to be state of the enclosing instance has to be need, and it has to be reconstructed on the remote execution environment. So now this particular feature, what you are going to send the different instance with a different object level to the other system, that particular process is named as type serialization. Okay, so it's going to be called as type serialization. So it is serializable that you have been done. So this will complete your chapter 6, I think. Okay, so this will be a part of your chapter 6. So we will start with your just go through how the matrix multiplication, the same matrix multiplications, and your functional decomposition which have been discussed in your normal thread operations in the beginning. Okay, in your domain decomposition and functional decomposition, the same thing you just see the code with respect to the Aneka thread. Okay, so just go through it. So it is same. Your class representation is same. So everything is same. Only the thread creation is where what instead of thread dot what. So you have to name that one as Aneka dot thread. That's it. Nothing else. So if you know that particular difference, then you are going to have. So here you can have Aneka applications. So Aneka application is going to send you the Aneka thread comma thread manager. So there we have here the normal application with respect to the thread comma thread manager. So that you see to it and you read it once. That will be given as your assignment for you. So that completes your chapter 6. Okay, so tomorrow we'll start with another part of your module 3, which is task computing. So just go through your basic concepts of your operating system. So if you go through the basic concepts of your operating system, then it will be